I am so happy. Everything went perfectly. The website didn't crash. Everybody's happy.
Kylie, I think you've just launched an empire.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.
Let's talk about Kylie Jenner. At one point in time, she was just another member of the Kardashian-Jenner clan. She was the young girl who was a ball of energy, who gave a different feel than the older siblings of Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney. However, as time went on, she developed her own style, personality, started to stand out from the bunch, and then, like her sisters, went into business and became a huge success, even being dubbed a self-made billionaire, which was questionable, and now we just know how questionable it was, but allow us to show you the dark truth behind Kylie Jenner's company. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 6, self-made billionaire. Let's start off with something that is still rather controversial to this day, her Forbes title of self-made billionaire. Because when you think about that title, it tends to mean that you and you alone started on a journey to do something that eventually made you $1 billion. Now, obviously you would have had some help along the way, and that's totally fine. But that help would not have come via your name, your family, or anything else that would have labeled you as famous. You got the help because you proved that you and your product and service were valuable, and thus you got to grow. For Kylie Jenner, you honestly can't say that, because she does have a name and a family that are famous. So to say she's self-made is kind of foolish, because she literally had the building blocks right in front of her with how Kim, Khloe, and even Kris made their businesses. Now granted, Kylie did them one better, but she clearly banked off of her name. Which leads us to 2020, where she made a huge move for herself and her bank account. She sold 51% of her Kylie Cosmetics to beauty giant Coty in a deal valued at $1.2 billion this January. It was a watershed moment for the family, one of the greatest celebrity cash outs of all time. The transaction seemed to confirm what Kylie had been saying all along and what Forbes had declared in March of 2019, that Kylie Jenner was indeed a billionaire, or at least she was at the time. Kylie is a modern-day icon with an incredible sense of the beauty consumer, Coty chairman Peter Harf gushed when announcing the acquisition in November. It sounds oh so lovely, doesn't it? Except there's a catch. Number 5, inflating one's worth. There are various cardinal sins in the business world that you're honestly not supposed to do. One of them is promise to do something when you can't deliver. Another thing is to go and say you're making loads of money when you're flat broke, basically a pyramid scheme. And the other is to say that you're worth one value and yet you're not even close to that. Guess which one Kylie was accused of? Filings released by publicly traded Coty over the past 6 months lay bare one of the family's best kept secrets. Kylie's business is significantly smaller and less profitable than the family has spent years leading the cosmetics industry and media outlets, including Forbes, to believe. Whoops! The irony in this revelation is many-fold, not the least of which is that when Kylie was in line for that oh-so-special Forbes article, they went and wined and dined the Forbes people and showed them various fake accounts to prove how big and powerful Kylie's business was just so they could show its worth. It's fair to say that everything the Kardashian-Jenner family does is oversized, says Stephanie Wissink, an equity analyst covering consumer products at Jefferies. To stay on brand, it needs to be bigger than it is. Exactly, the Kardashians are infamous for wanting to make sure that no matter what, they look the best, act the best, and are portrayed in the best light. So for them to go and do that for another generation, they had to go and inflate the value of Kylie, who was their biggest rising star, given the somewhat cooling off of Kim. But with their cards now on the table, Kylie's net worth has tumbled, especially because of the pandemic that swept the nation and made people less worried about their looks and more worried about their health. Basically, she's worth less than $1 billion, and depending on how things go, that might not change anytime soon. Number 4, her company was built on a lie. Okay, to be clear, no, her company was not a pyramid scheme or anything even like that. Rather, the concept of the company came because of a scandal she was in because she kept lying about a part of her body, her lips. For well over a year, Kylie Jenner was accused of going and using lip fillers to make herself prettier because of how she honestly felt inferior in how her lips looked. Yet, when people very obviously noticed that she was using them, she lied and said she wasn't. She did this for a year before going and admitting that she did it in 2015, which then led to her capitalizing on it and, of course, making money. Kylie launched her first batch of 15,000 lip kits consisting of a lip liner and matching lipstick in November 2015. Thanks to clever Instagram marketing, the $29 kits were gone in less than a minute. Before I even refreshed the page, everything was sold out, she later told Forbes. Which, to be fair, hey, that's awesome, and proof once again that the family had a lot of sway with their fans. But again, this was all built on a lie. Imagine what would have happened if she had just done things honestly from the start. She could have had more sales faster and wouldn't have had to lie about their numbers. Number 3, cooking the books. Forbes has been very vocal as of late about all the things the Kardashian-Jenner clan has done in order to try and prove the worth of Kylie's business, including how after it exploded it had huge numbers that many, including Forbes, found hard to believe. For example, they said that within a year they were making sales of $300 million, with Kylie pocketing over $110 million. Impossible? No. Improbable? Yep. Especially since Kylie hadn't done anything like this before. When the Kardashians were told to open the books to prove this, they did do that, but their books looked fishy, especially since they stated that the only person making more money than Kylie at that point in time was Taylor Swift, which felt really odd. So Forbes found some real analysts and had them look over everything, and they agreed with Forbes that there was little chance that Kylie's new brand was doing this well. Thus, Forbes gave Kylie a fair but modest spot on the top 100 for brand sales, but the Kardashians didn't take that well. Rather, they went to an outlet that didn't question their numbers at all, WWD. There has been raging speculation about the size of her business, with guesstimates ranging from $50 million up to $300 million, the story reads. Well, here's the bad news for more established beauty players. Jenner surpassed the higher figure with ease. Kylie Cosmetics actually has done $420 million in retail sales in just 18 months, Kris Jenner revealed, and they provided WWD with documentation. Those were the number they failed to get to Forbes to publish, but WWD did, and that led a flooding of those numbers being used in articles all over, even though Forbes had definitively proven that they were false. Yet they took hold, and Kylie's value and net worth skyrocketed until 2020, when the truth was revealed and the house of cards came down, so to speak. Number 2, the price of doing business. As noted earlier, when Kody bought Kylie's business, they found out just how much smaller the business honestly was, and the actual revenues that the business had gotten, which was a fraction of what the Kardashians and Jenners claimed for years. In fact, it was making 1/3 in 2019 than it did in 2016, when they were boasting $300 million in revenue. So what happened? It seems unlikely that much revenue could have evaporated overnight, says Evercore analyst Omar Saad. There doesn't seem to be any evidence the business has cratered, adds cosmetics veteran Jeffrey Ten, who has led companies like Note Cosmetics, NYX, and Calvin Klein Beauty. If so, why would Kody buy it? Why indeed? Because they thought it was huge and that it could help their own business. It just so happens they didn't know all of what they were buying, a byproduct of how the Kardashians do business. Number 1, what does this prove? That is the question, isn't it? Well, to be honest, it proves once and for all that the Kardashians and Jenners will do anything and everything to keep themselves happy, wealthy, and famous/infamous. They're not above lying, making false tax returns, and more. It's just what they do. They're in the entertainment business, and they're willing to put on a show if it gets them a bigger deal. The irony is that Kody's shares have fallen 60% since the deal came due to the pandemic, so Kylie's fame and popularity did not help them. Plus, when Forbes tried to probe them again about what was going on with the numbers and the reveals, they decided not to respond, which says a lot, don't you think? So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the various things Kylie Jenner has done in her life and in her business that show she's not exactly the person you think she is? Which of these facts do you find the most shocking? Which ones do you find the most infuriating? Does this change your view of Kylie Jenner as a whole? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.
Just a reminder about our new giveaway. We're giving away the new iPad Pro or the new iMac Pro. The choice is yours. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple.